Hello and welcome to Dublin Arsenal preview show. I'm your host, Jonathan Giles, as always. On this week's preview show, I'm joined by regular guest and Arsenal season ticket holder Eamonn Donnelly to look ahead to Wednesday evening's away Premier League clash against Thomas Frank's Brentford side. And remember to check out our preview show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel and also on Spotify, and check out TikTok and Instagram for matchday action. So sit back and enjoy the show. As I said, I'm joined by Arsenal season ticket holder and regular pundit now to our preview show and review shows, Eamonn Donnelly. How are you, pal?
Evening, Jonathan. A friend of mine told me there I was too competitive. So I told him, well, I knew that before you did. How are you? All right.
And you must have got loads of those Christmas crackers when you were younger. They just keep coming and going.
Well, look, I have good news for everybody. Bukayo has joined me. There he is. Looking good. Thanks for the love and support. It's awesome, man. You know, there you go. It's just awesome.
You've heard it through the grapevine. Bukayo's on his way back, lads.
Yeah.
He's back.
He had a visitor. The divine ponytail, yeah. It was only an hairstyle.
Earl Ozzy Osbourne's favourite pal, Stephen Arselli.
Only an hairstyle, yeah.
Safe hands, Eamonn. What a keeper.
Safe hands, yeah.
What a
Bukayo is in safe hands in my kitchen here. Yeah.
David will look after him throughout his recovery period, no doubt. We'll have weekly updates from Eamonn in his kitchen.
That's right. I actually David gives me the old medical reports on Bukayo every morning, you know.
As always, great to have you on, Eamonn, for our preview show. And of course, with 2 days to go now to the New Year's Day fixture against Thomas Frank's Brentford side away, brings us to the midway point of the season, match day 19, which is incredible. The season just ticking so quickly. Currently, as it stands for Brentford, they lie in 12th position with 24 points, with 18 played. They've scored 32 goals. They've scored quite a lot of goals with ourselves on 35. Brian Mbeumo is their top scorer with 10, Johan Wissa with 9, and Kevin Shaddy with 4. With Ivan Toney going into summer, it did fair for them. But I think that front three have really replaced Ivan Toney, even when he was missing for a large part of last season. They stepped into his shoes quite well. They start games really quickly, on the front foot. Most of their games early on the season, they were scoring after the first 2 or 3 minutes, which was incredible. There was a period of 4 or 5 games in the trot that happened. In terms of last season, when we played them, it was 1-0 at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Kai Havertz got that late goal. That really catapulted him into form. I think we'll all agree. Really good header at the back post, and that's when Kai Havertz's confidence just went through the roof, and he hasn't stopped since. So that was a big game for Kai Havertz there. And in terms of, we met them again in early March, when Kai Havertz again got the winning goal late on, and of course when they came up first, we played them on the opening night. We lost 2-0, but that was the squad that we had that night. We were all over the place. But that's the fourth when they came up. They've really established themselves over the last 2 or 3 seasons in the Premier League. Thomas Frankie's brought in a lot of Danish players as well. Christian Norgard, who was really impressive in their midfield. Damsgaard as well. Our own Nathan Collins has just grown as a defender. He's really fit squad, athletic squad. And, I think when they get an injury too, they've a settled 11, but when they get an injury or two, they kind of struggle, But the job he's done on such a tight budget, it's just been quite amazing. Eamonn, in terms of their season to date, how impressed have you been with Brentford?
Well, I've been impressed with Brentford since they came into the division, and they're one of the teams that if you were in a title race and one of your rivals had to go to Brentford, you'd be hoping that they could do something.
Yeah,
they're a very honest team.
Yeah, they go out to win. Yeah,
Very, very honest team.
yeah. Agree with
And Thomas Frank has done an unbelievable job. The only thing about him, there's something that sits uneasy with me about him. It's like as if he's for all the cool kids, he's your favorite uncle who goes to rock festivals in Woodstock, where he has cable ties and gas masks in the back of the car. You know, he just there's something scary about that man. You know,
it's the tune of the gum frightens me more.
Yeah, but
I don't know many, but
I'll just tell you about Brentford, Jonathan, for the younger people. Brentford, organically, Brentford were always a second or third tier club. Always.
Yeah. But
I think they had a bit of a run in the top division in the 1950s. But all through my football following life, they were a lower tier team. And the way Frank has got them now and where he's brought them to, they've actually displaced their fiercest rivals. Their fiercest rivals will be Queen's Park Rangers, right? Because they're from Brent and Shepherd's Bush, not far away. That's the kind of local derby. And Brentford are now doing what Queen's Park Rangers did in the 1970s and 1980s. Like they look to me like a club, because of the way they've gone about their business, that are going to stay in the division for quite a long time. You know, I can't see them. Every year you kind of think, looking at them at the start of the season, are they going to be struggling to stay up? No, they're not. They're too well drilled, and in fairness, their recruitment policy is good, and they've almost seamlessly transitioned the team. Like the Brentford team 3 years ago and the Brentford team now, it's nearly a completely different team. And nobody kind of really noticed that, you know.
So, they've added good quality international players as well, haven't they, Eamonn, in those 3 years? You know, bit by bit, he's adding his own, like yourself with Arteta. They've an eye for the player, haven't they?
And but they've established themselves as that kind of West London, you know. They jumped into the area that Queen's Park Rangers used to live in, you know. And you know they're kind of a tight knit community club who made very, very astute business, and you know they sell well as well. You know,
they do.
And I think the key to Brentford, if you look at how many of their coaching staff have moved on to bigger clubs, they get it right, you know. So look, I mean, hats off to them. I just hope they don't get it right on them on New Year's Day, you know.
How impressed have you been with our own Nathan Collins at Brentford? He's really impressed me since he's under Thomas Frank's wing, isn't he? He's added a bit more to his game, hasn't he? You know, he comes out from the back and.
Yeah, but Nathan was always a 7 out of 10 player every week. Every week, you never get 4 out of 10 off him.
Yeah,
you get 7 out of 10 off him every week, and I'd take players like that all day. You know. No, he's good.
Yeah, he's definitely a threat from corner kicks as well with his height. Himself and Ethan Pennick at the back, very. They got their goalkeeper Mark Flecken is kind of, you know.
You said they scored a lot of goals, Jonathan, but
they conceded a lot of goals as well, don't they?
They conceded 32 as well, you see.
Yeah.
Looking at their home games, they have a 5-3 against Wolves. They had a 4-3 against Ipswich, a 4-2 against Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know,
you can't be concede. It's risk. Yeah, you can't be constantly trying to outscore your opponent, because we saw that with Leeds United under Bielsa. They eventually fell through the trapdoor, didn't they? You know, it eventually catches up with you.
So instead of choking them, instead of them choking us, we've got to choke them. You know.
Do you think, Eamonn, you know, having such a tight budget Brentford, and you know they nearly kind of lose a top player nearly every summer, you know, that breaks through and has a big impact for them. Do you think it'd be long for Brentford fans to be dreaming of European qualification? Do you think do you think they're a mid-table team? You know.
Well, there's not a whole lot of difference between mid-table and making the Europa Conference League.
Yeah,
there's not a big step up. There's not a big step up from 11th in the table to 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
So you know Brighton did it. You know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And the similar,
They're a similar sized club to Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
No?
Yeah, they're actually, that was our latest fixture, actually bringing that up. 0-0 on the same night we were playing. How impressed have you been, Eamon? They lost Ivan Toney, who chipped in with a lot of goals. He's still, he's the most prem goals for them, just looking here, from 2021 with 36. How impressed have you been with the likes of Brian and Buemo and Johan Vissit, their two top scorers with 19 between them? They've really filled that gap, haven't they?
They filled the gap because you couldn't replace Ivan Toney with a like for like.
No, there's no one else.
So they didn't try to do that. They got, like, Ivan Toney, very good striker. I'm glad he never signed for the Arsenal. I don't think he has the character to play for Arsenal. People who go on Twitter and Instagram saying a walk at the park and all that, not for me. But he was a very capable striker, Ivan Toney. And they were never going to replace him like for like. There's not too many of him around. So what they did was they changed it up and they got probably quicker, more dynamic players. And they play a different way. They used to bang it up to Ivan Toney. They don't do that anymore, No,
it's all up the ground.
I think the big question for me, Jonathan, is will they be as brave as they've been when they play us, or will he decide to do what teams are doing and at home sit in a low block against us? That's the big question. We don't know.
Saw that. That's a very good point you've made there, Eamon, because last November, and that you could say
that's exactly what they did.
It was very hard fought 1-0 win. With that delicious delivery, that's all I can say. When Declan Rice swung it in for Havertz at the back post, it was looking like that was going to be a 0-0 draw. And I remember in that review show you were saying how impressed you were with Brentford. They gave us, they didn't give us an easy time. We had to work for. Do you see this game on New Year's Day being the same, or do you think Brentford will come out?
Well,
or try catch us even, because Buemo has a bit of pace about him, hasn't he? It's,
Yeah, but as I said on the when we reviewed the last game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether teams are playing against us with a low block, because they think we don't have the craft to break them down, or whether they're playing against us with a low block, because they're afraid of what might happen if they don't. Right now, Palace didn't play with a low block against us, and we filleted them. Now, Palace had 12, 13 shots on goal. Ipswich did play with a low block. They got no shots on goal. I think that this game, if he approaches it like he did last season, which I don't think he will, by the way, I think he'll go for it.
Do you think so? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I think the way they're playing, they can get goals, and I think, well, I'm not Thomas Frank, and he knows a lot more about football than I do. But if I was him, I'd say, well, look, we're 12th in the table. They'll probably expect us to play with a low block. We're not going to do that. We're going to play front foot football and see where it takes us. I'm sure you never know. We could win. When last year, what they did last season, the game you referenced, they played very low, and then there was it got to a period in the game at about 55 minutes where they decided they all stepped up, and there was about a 20-minute period in that game where they were on top. And if my memory serves me correctly, for the last 15 minutes, Declan Rice grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and drove it forward, as I recall it. Yeah.
And I think we'll all agree, and you said it yourself on that show that from last year, that header from Kai Havertz at the back post, that really endured him. Arsenal fans really endured him, but do you think that was the turning point for Kai Havertz that night?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. And by the way, if you look back at that goal, that's not an easy header to plant from where he was.
Yeah, because it was either that or go into the post, wasn't it? Yeah, it's because he was being pinned back by the defender as well. But at that stage of the game, it was going to take something special like that, because Brentford defended so well that night. They were getting tired, and it only took one defender. When you play that deep, you need everyone on the same way, Yeah, and from that angle, from he scored, because he was having a few games before, and that could have been over, but he planned it, and you could see just that energy when he scored. It was like a release, and that just, that's all. It's amazing what strikers need. Just give them
such an important goal as well.
Were you at the home game, Eamonn, for the game?
No, I wasn't. I can't remember why I wasn't, but I was in the River Bar, and our resident actor Emmett Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first time I had a jobbing actor jump on my back in the pub, and that was only when we scored the first goal. It wasn't even for the winner. Jesus.
That was another.
Yeah.
That was another great header from Havertz, wasn't it? The way he just planted that. Yeah.
One of my favourite goals in that one, Yeah.
I remember if that was actually the game. I think it was Aaron Ramsdale's last league game for us when he pulled off that save when Ivan Toney chipped from the halfway line, and he just got it over the bar because he made a howler against Wissett that we were 1-0 down. But yeah, he really. The thing with Ramsdale was he was quick to redeem himself, wasn't he? In games, he could pull off saves like that. It's just he admitted himself he was never like what David Ray is to us now. He was never 100%. He always said he just has these things in games where he just switches off, and yeah.
No, but we all love him.
Do you think David Ray get a good reception on New Year's Day? Brentford, I still think a lot of Brentford fans still love him there, don't they? For what he gave to them.
I couldn't care less.
You just want him to keep a clean sheet.
If I was a Brentford fan, I wouldn't give him a good reception because he's playing in the opposition.
No, but when ex-players go back, it is now. Yeah, it's just I'm sure David, as you said, David Ray doesn't give a shit either. Once you come out there with 3 points,
exactly,
and a bag full of goals,
exactly.
Do you think this be a high-scoring game, Eamonn, with the way with both teams like ourselves, we score a lot, they score a lot? Do you think it'd be end-to-end, or do you think where could the game be kind of won and lost, in your opinion?
I think if Brentford come out to play, it'll be a high-scoring game,
yeah. We kill them, yeah.
Well, no, I don't think we killed them. No, we don't. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I can see this game going. If Brentford come out to play, I hope I'm right. I can see us winning something like 3-2.
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another London fixture. We haven't really gone out of London for the entire month. It's great. We're safe.
I feel like I went to the Ipswich game and I spent a couple of days in London. I feel I haven't been out of London for the entire month either.
Have you been to, just briefly, Eamonn? Have you been to the Brentford Stadium?
No, I haven't been to the Brentford Stadium. I've seen us play Brentford twice since they come back. I've been at two of the 3 home games. But I haven't been up to Griffin Park. No, I haven't been there. No.
Yeah, it looks one of those tight grounds where it just be rocking before the match now, isn't it? They really get into it and all, don't they? Like I suppose all stadiums, yeah. But it should be a cracking start to the year. Hopefully, New Year's Day, and it's on TNT Sports from 5:30 kickoff. That will complete the fixture card for that round of games. Would you like to give a score prediction, Eamonn, or?
I've just said I think we can win this one 3-2, but I mean, I hope nobody's listening to me when I say this because I hate giving them, yeah.
Yeah, I think I do agree. I think there will be plenty of goals in this game. Yeah, but I think we've enough quality there to see it through and start the new year off in the high. Yeah. Good preview show as always. Thanks to Eamonn Donnelly for coming on, pal.
I just want to wish all Gunners a happy new year. Whistle the whirling wind. I am the president of Ireland. Now, there's Michael D dropping in just to say happy new year. So we've had Michael D, David Seaman, and Bukayo Saka
on in one show. It's the best 20 minutes listeners will ever have to listen to. They're spoiled for choice in this show. You don't get that in any other podcast, that's for sure.
I might bring Bono in next week, mister. If it's green for a goal to ground zero. If radio's a taxi, mister. I'm Robert De Niro. Yeah, I might bring Bono in next week. You never know. Let's see.
So you sound far from that trip from Gatwick, I tell you.
Found what I'm looking for, Jonathan.
I think Papa Gunnery will agree with you. What's that, Bono?
He's still in that costume, I say.
The shades alone made it for me. Yeah, I couldn't distinguish between the real Bono and Papa Gunnery. It was, as always, you can catch our previous show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel and also on Spotify. And check us out on New Year's Day in the River Bar, where all the gang will meet up to start off another year. It's been a quick year, but I'd like to wish everyone Happy New Year. Enjoy New Year's Eve, and let's get pissed New Year's Day where we left off on 2024. Thanks again, Eamon Donnelly. Have a good one, pal.
Okay.
And we'll be back.
Happy
Our next
New Year, everybody.
with Pete Baker from the Brighton crew. We had him on in early, I think it was around the end of August, so we'll have him back on for the preview of the Brighton game for this coming Saturday. So until then, have a great week, lads, and enjoy the Brentford game. Thanks for listening.